In 2016, you have two stories going in: who the Republican nominee is, who the Democrat nominee is. The story is more complex and in some ways more dramatic on the Republican side, because even though New Jersey Governor Chris Christie's ahead in a poll, it's not by much, it's not decisive. He can't really say, I'm a front runner, and have no one dispute it.
There's no question Hillary Clinton is a heavy favorite to be the Democratic nominee, but strange things happen.
Let's ask our panel if they think anything strange will happen. And we'll start out with a brand new Fox News poll. This is the 2016 Democratic nominee preference, and this is among polled folks who self-identified as Democrats. 68% say Clinton. The next in line is a full 50-plus points behind, 56, I think. I was not a math major. 12% Vice President Biden. We have Elizabeth Warren and Cuomo on the list as well. Nina, do you think anyone dethrones her?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, she was coronated already in 2007, and that didn't go so well. And I think that has to be uppermost on her mind as she looks at whether to go in or not. That said, I think the likelihood is that she will go in, and I think the likelihood is that she will get the nomination. However, not without a lot of vocal opposition from the left. There's a big segment of the left that thinks she's too pro-business and will want to go towards Elizabeth Warren. There's a big part of the left that thinks she's not pro-environmentalist enough. She gave some remarks this fall about praising the energy boom in the United States and was roundly attacked as being somebody who cares about fossil fuels too much by the anti-fracking crowd. So we're going to hear from them. You'll hear about, and a lot of the NSA, the drone stuff, all the stuff that's part of the Obama administration. The left will make a big issue out of that. So I think it's going to be noisy among the Democrats, but I think ultimately if she throws it in, throws her hat in the ring, it'll be Hillary Clinton.
Charles, do you think that Benghazi will factor in at all in the primary or the general, should Hillary Clinton be the Democratic nominee?
It won't in the primary. It won't even be an issue. I think the status she enjoys among Democrats is semi-divine. It's not going to be a correlation. It's going to be a worship service. And it will go on for about 6 or 8 months. I don't think there's any serious challenger. There might be noise, but I don't even think that the left that we've talked about is that the significant. It's a noisy left, but I don't see any impediment on the way to her nomination. But I think she's going to be a rather weak, if she decides to run, which I think she likely is, she's going to be a relatively weak opponent. And Republicans, I think, are going to have a really good shot at the White House.
Well, let's talk about that, because obviously the polling is much tighter on the Republican side. This brand new Fox News poll, again, these are 2016 GOP presidential nominee preferences from polling done among self-identified Republicans. Chris Christie at the top of the list at 16%, but certainly not a commanding lead. You have Jeb Bush behind him at 12, also Ted Cruz at 12, Paul Ryan at 12, Rand Paul, not Ron Paul, I don't think he's running again. We'll see. A lot of folks think Rand Paul's going to run too, rounding out the top 5 there with 11%. Steve, does somebody break out anytime soon, or is this going to be a bloodbath in the primary?
Probably not. Probably nobody does break out anytime soon. One thing that you'll notice about the top 4 or 5 names on the list on the Republican side is there are people either who have names that are well known, that everybody knows, or there are people who have been in the news quite a bit lately. If you look at Ted Cruz, you look at Chris Christie, just won. Popular. Jeb Bush, of course, has the Bush name. Paul Ryan was the vice presidential candidate. Rand Paul's gotten a lot of attention. So it's not a surprise that these would be the people who are leading the Republican field at this time. What I think is interesting, of course, to go back and look at what we were saying in December of 2005. And in December of 2005, on the Republican side, you had Rudy Giuliani at 30%, John McCain at 22%. Condoleezza Rice shortly behind him, and then you had George Allen and Bill Frist. That was the field. Well, it didn't turn out quite that way. And on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton was leading both John Kerry and John Edwards by nearly 30 points each. So obviously many things can change in the time we have in front of us. On Benghazi and Hillary Clinton, I would say that it has already had an effect. I mean, if you look at her favorability ratings just a year ago and look at where they are now, it's very clear that it's had an effect. She's dropped some 30 points, depending on the poll that you look at.
I would disagree, though, that it won't be a strong candidate. I think she'll be a very strong candidate, and she also pulls a lot of independent women, a lot of Republican women who who find her candidacy very appealing. I think the other factor to look at here is that the Republican Party is still in the midst of a civil war, and that's going to play out in the primaries, and I think that's going to continue to hurt them in the general election.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in 2014. An opportunity to possibly do a little kumbaya. We'll
Yeah.
see. All right, thank you, panel.